Gordon. Mr. Gordon is not present. Mr. Gordon, file item number 15, AB 379.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. AB 379 would provide homeless and foster youth a mechanism to enforce their educational rights through the existing uniform complaint procedure. I appreciate the committee's work on the bill and will be taking the committee suggested amendments as listed in the analysis. California's foster youth, as you just heard, have among the worst educational outcomes of all of the state's youth. Additionally, foster youth are more likely to change schools during the school year. This is significantly more likely to be enrolled in non-traditional schools. We've passed a series of laws in this legislature to give foster youth extra protections. We've given them the right to remain in their school of origin, to have immediate enrollment in a new school, to have access to the same academic services and extracurricular activities, including sports, that are available to all pupils. Unfortunately, these rights are not always provided to foster youth, and there is no appropriate enforcement mechanism to compel school districts to comply. Existing law establishes a uniform complaint procedure under the California Department of Education. Currently, this procedure is used for complaints regarding educational programs such as unlawful pupil fees, bullying, and discrimination. AB 379 would allow school-age foster youth to use the uniform complaint procedure as a way to file complaints to the school district about not obtaining their deserved educational rights. In summary, AB 379 would require an annual notice of the educational rights available to foster youth, give foster youth access to the uniform complaint procedure, provide foster youth with compensatory educational services if it was found that there were violations of their rights. AB 379 would also limit the amount of time a student can be educated in an emergency shelter in order to have the youth placed in a regular education setting as soon as possible. At the end of the day, AB 379 will bring accountability and provide a way to enforce important educational rights for the vulnerable population of foster youth. I would respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Your witnesses.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. My name is Danielle Tenner. I'm an education attorney at the Alliance for Children's Rights, a nonprofit legal services agency in Los Angeles, serving youth living in out-of-home care, including foster care and legal guardianship. Our education program works to ensure that foster youth are afforded education protections and support needed to thrive in school. We know, and as we've just heard, the education outcomes for foster youth are appalling. I won't review them because we've just heard about them, but one recent survey found that approximately a third of older foster youth have experienced 7 or more school changes related to home placement changes. As a result, we know that they're less likely to graduate high school and very at risk for high school dropout. For over a decade, the California legislature has recognized the extraordinary challenges facing this population and has enacted a series of protections. Unfortunately, many school districts do not yet have adequate systems to ensure that foster youth are afforded these rights, and even more troubling, when a disagreement arises, there's no protocol for resolving disputes. For example, we had a client, Michael, who was in the 12th grade, looking towards graduation but off track for graduation. He had been to 6 different high schools, and we went to the district trying to seek partial credits for the time he had successfully completed coursework and certification for graduation under state requirements rather than local district requirements. When the district denied that, we really had nowhere to turn. The state obviously does have its uniform complaint procedure, and this bill will bring foster youth education rights into the fray. It will provide recourse for struggling students to ensure accountability from local educational agencies. If a student is being denied the right to completely attend school or is coming right up upon graduation, the timelines in the proposed bill are somewhat shortened, but for most rights comply with existing UCP procedure. This legislation is necessary to ensure that school districts uphold foster youth's rights. With clear enforcement procedure, we can prevent our most vulnerable children from slipping through the cracks. So we urge your aye vote on AB 379.
Thank you. The next witness.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Granisha. I'm a transition foster youth. I recently graduated high school. I'm excited to accomplish this because neither of my parents graduated high school. I'm the first in my family to graduate high school and go straight into college. I want to be a probation officer to help youth who have struggled, such as me. I never thought any of this would happen given my struggles in school. I changed 10 different high schools. I want to share a few experiences about how important it is for school districts to protect the rights of youth like me. When I first went into placement, I only had 12 credits towards my high school graduation. I thought I would never finish. I tried to enroll into a continuation school so I could get my credits faster, and they refused to enroll me 3 different times before finally putting me on a waiting list. I was out of school for weeks and wasn't earning any credits towards my high school diploma. This violated my right for immediate enrollment and made me want to give up. At one point, I tried to reunify with my mother and return to my school of origin. No matter what my mom did, they refused to let me go there. And the people there, they even remembered who I was, but they still refused to let me go there. They told me to come back at the beginning of the semester. After 2 months, I knew I had to get back into school, so I had to make a really hard decision and leave my mom and go back into placement. If the school had respected my rights, then I could have stayed at my school of origin and wouldn't have to leave my mom. After changing high school 10 different times, I knew my credits were a mess. I was forced to change schools mid-semester, and 3 different high schools failed to give me the credits I've earned. An attorney from the Alliance later told me I had 31 credits that was never awarded to me. Making sure youth receive partial credits they earn is so important to keeping them motivated and graduating high school. I recently graduated high school using AB 167-216. This allowed me to graduate with only 130 credits. I learned more about my rights. Learning more about your rights give you hope and motivate you to stay focused in graduating. I also learned about my rights, including my rights to immediate enrollment, staying at my school of origin, and my rights to partial credits. If the school had respected my rights, I wouldn't have had such a hard time graduating. If there had been a way to make schools respect my rights, I wouldn't have had such a hard time graduating. I hope that you pass the law AB 379, and it is so important for schools to follow the rights of youth like me. This law will help make sure that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Take your time.
This will really be like good for other youth. Thank you.
Good job. With that, let's go to the members of the public. Those in support.
Danielle Millay with the California Alliance of Child and Family Services, representing 115 foster care providing associations, also in support.
Rebecca Gonzalez, National Association of Social Workers, California chapter, in support.
Kyle Sporlater with the California Youth Connection. Unfortunately, we didn't make it on the analysis, but we are in strong support. Thank you.
Laura Fair, Public Counsel, also in strong support.
Thank you. With that, any comments from members of the committee?
Let's move the bill.
Second. No comments, Ms. Kim? Okay. With that, Mr. Gordon, you may close.
I just respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for your advocacy on behalf of foster youth, you and Mr. Jones-Sawyer. With that, Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
The motion is do pass with amendments to appropriations. O'Donnell?
Aye.
O'Donnell, aye. Chavez? Kim?
Aye.
Kim, aye. McCarty? Santiago? Aye. Santiago, aye. Thurman? Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye.
It has 4 votes. It's out.
The bill passed with 4 votes. Thank you very much. It's out. Thank you, Mr. Gordon. What number is this? 12?
Mr. Santiago.
Mr. Santiago, the moment you've been waiting for. Patiently.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Thank you very much for allowing me to present on this. And I'd also like to thank the committee staff for the recommendations, and we've accepted the committee's amendments as author amendments. As you know, AB 292 ensures that every kid in a school system, public school system would be able to eat will be able to have enough time to eat their lunch. AB 292 specifies that upon annual review of the Bell schedule, if a school determines that it is currently not providing pupils with the adequate amount of time to eat, the school, in consultation with the district, shall identify and develop a plan to implement ways to increase a student's ability to eat. Unfortunately, California school students oftentimes don't have enough time to eat and miss out on the benefits of a good lunch. In poor districts like mine, school lunch sometimes is the only nutritious meal that a student has during the day, and we certainly want to encourage students to have that adequate amount of time so that students can eat their lunch. Fortunately, the California Department of Education has provided guidance and recommendations to schools about providing adequate amount of time to eat. Unfortunately, some schools do not provide it, and only a small percentage of schools and districts have addressed this issue through policy initiatives. In the interest of time, I would respectfully request your support for AB 292, and we also have two witnesses who will introduce themselves. And also
your first witness, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Wendy Sigüenza. I attend Hollywood High School in Los Angeles, California. As I am a health advocate, I like to implement healthy eating and active living on my school campus and community. Therefore, I support Assembly Bill 292, Time to Eat. This bill is critical in improving health and education. Having appropriate time to eat lunch re-energizes students' ability to perform better for afternoon classes and extracurriculars. Especially students who play sports need appropriate time to eat lunch because they need to reboost for a game or practice. As a student athlete, I need a well-balanced meal in order to feel physically and mentally prepared. In addition, having a well-balanced meal can and will improve a student's health, for the reason that skipping a meal during the day can cause serious health problems. At Hollywood High School, some students complain to the Wellness Center about dizziness and stomach aches, just to come to find out that they did not have enough time to eat lunch. As an advocate and president of the FAME Health Club, we've worked on increasing school meal participation and access to healthy foods on campus with our cafeteria manager, but our efforts would go unnoticed if we didn't have 30 minutes for lunch or that time to meet with our club advisors to plan events, campaigns, and etc. As a student of Hollywood High School, our cafeteria location is distant from our classes. Therefore, walking to the cafeteria and waiting in line to get our food takes the majority of lunch period in itself. Our 30 minutes of lunch is very beneficial because I'm not gulping down my food and or throwing away my food so I can get to class on time. Thank you, Education Committee, for giving me the opportunity to share my experiences with you. I hope you guys vote yes on Bill 292, Time to Eat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman O'Donnell, members of the committee. My name is Alexis Fernandez, and I'm with the California Food Policy Advocates, sponsors of AB 292. When students don't have enough time to eat, they throw away parts of their meal, buy less healthy snacks, or skip lunch entirely, as Wendy already told us. When we shortchange school lunch, we fail in meeting our responsibility to student health and achievement. AB 292 establishes a reasonable and achievable standard for schools. Recent bill amendments have addressed issues raised by the committee, and we've worked with our partners in school nutrition to ensure that the bill language reflects realistic expectations for implementation. I thank you for your consideration, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Good afternoon, Chairman O'Donnell, members of the committee. Lee Angela Reed on behalf of the California School Nutrition Association. We don't have a formal position on the bill as proposed to be amended, but are very supportive of the way the bill is moving. Our 2,200 members are food service professionals committed to providing a healthy meal to California's 3.3 million students every day.
Good. Members of the public, please.
Mr. Chairman and members, Brendan Tuig on behalf of the California Center for Public Health Advocacy and Support. Thank you.
Sandra Pohl, Deputy Director at the California Black Health Network, in strong support.
Ray Brunell on behalf of the California Catholic Conference, in strong support.
Good afternoon, Deborah Brahimi with the Los Angeles Trust for Children's Health and FAME Health Club Advisors, strong support. Thanks.
Thank you. Members of the committee wish to comment?
I would like to comment on this. I totally agree that providing healthy meal to students while they're in school is really, truly important. And as a mother of 4 kids who have all benefited from attending public schools. I've been to schools many, many times to see the students actually getting lunches and how long it takes to stand in line and get lunch and be able to have enough time to eat. It's really important as a mother to see our children eating healthy and having the adequate time to consume that healthy food. And I will hate to see food going to a waste. And one of the witnesses mentioned that because there is not adequate time to eat lunch during the time that is provided by the school that you attend, you see yourself throwing the food away and throwing it in the trash can before you enter the classroom. I would like to ask, this is something that we can figure it out at the local level. We can figure it out, I believe, at each school that you attend. Maybe you can address this issue. This isn't something, please don't get me wrong, I do support the concept of it, but I do have problem mandating it at the state level to make it happen. And so I would like to ask, why couldn't we figure it out at the local level?
Sure. Well, let me first try to addressing your question, because the state's already involved. The CDE had written a letter in 2003 asking school districts to give adequate time. What this bill says, to your point, is allowing the locals to identify ways with the district to ensure that this happens. So I completely agree with you, but the state's already involved.
We are talking about the Bell review schedule, because you are arguing that there is not enough time to eat. Again, the state is involved as far as making sure that our children are eating healthy and eating and without throwing away any food. But if you are talking about giving students enough time to eat, I think each school and school districts can figure it out. And if necessary, give 10 or 5 more minutes of their recess time to allow them to have adequate time to consume that meal. I just don't think that it's something that we need to mandate it at the state level and tell them what they need to do or how many times each lunch hour should be. Normally it's about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but I'm pretty sure it's something that we can work it out at the local level. I just wanted to throw that out and be on the record that it's just something that we should be able to figure it out at the local level. Figure it out.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. I struggle with this a bit myself because it is a bit of a mandate, and it may eat into instructional time at certain schools unless they lengthen their school day. That doesn't mean it's a bad policy necessarily. They may, in fact, have to lengthen their day so that students can eat. It is basic that people need to eat at lunch. I remember I just left the classroom, and I saw certain circumstances where that did occur in my own classroom. But in my own classroom, quite frankly, you could bring your lunch. It wasn't no harm, no foul in my classroom. And my only rule was you had to throw it outside because I didn't want to smell it the rest of the day. But I'm going to be supportive of this. The author has accepted some amendments, and I'm going to read those off.
Please.
He knows one of my concerns. Would this be workable at the site level? What if the students are on a field trip? What if there's a unique situation? The unique situation in my classroom was we had chess club, right? You had to bring your lunch because it was conducted at lunch. Well, the bill needs to accommodate those kind of events at the school site. I don't want to be too restrictive that school sites aren't reflective. So I'll just read off the amendments here. It specifies that schools shall make available to their pupils adequate time to eat. It further specifies that if a school determines it is currently not providing pupils with adequate time to eat, a school, in conversation with the district, shall identify and develop a plan to increase pupils' time to eat. And it clarifies that the requirement to provide adequate time to eat applies only to lunch, And it doesn't apply to charter schools. Could maybe one of the advocates talk about that?
Well, I think it's because we were trying to amend the education code, and in the education code, the
we
public
talk
schools
about charters, though, and what only. And I'm not, I'm not pushing it today. I just want to know what was the thinking there. maybe one of the advocates could answer on your behalf.
Sure. So charter schools are currently exempt from this section of Education Code related to both the provision of meals for what are referred to as needy students in the code, and because this is an addition to that code section, they are excluded entirely from the meal programs or any requirements related to meals in California.
My only concern being that, I heard some conversation from your side, actually, that they want to encourage charter schools. I'm not looking to mandate that right now, as much as encourage them to offer some meals, wherein some currently do not. So I hope you would think along those lines down the road for all students. It's about all kids. It's not an anti-charter thing. It's about a pro-kid thing. So with that, no, any further comments? No? Oh, Mr. McCarty, I apologize.
Yes. Comment, and I'll make a motion at the appropriate time. I support this. Plenty of research shows that if you're hungry, it's hard to learn. I will note, just a side note, that I went to my little girl's school a few weeks ago. They asked me to come by because they said there's not enough time to eat. Granted, we had another problem with them in their kindergarten classroom, but especially you can see if there are long lines with the free lunch program, having a lunch period is not the same time as sitting down with your actual lunch.
Right.
And so I clearly see the need to do something at the state level. I support what you're talking about, Chair, to make sure it's not overly burdensome and makes sense for everybody.
Thank you. There's been a motion to do pass as amended to the Appropriations Committee. O'Donnell will second that. Madam Secretary, if you could call the roll.
O'Donnell?
Aye.
O'Donnell, aye. Chavez? Kim?
No.
Kim, no. McCarty? McCarty, aye. Santiago?
Aye.
Santiago, aye. Thurman? Weber? Weber, aye.
It's 4-1, but it's out.
The bill passes 4-1. It is out of the committee.
Thank you.
We need to move the consent calendar.
Yeah, so now this is all.
So I read it. Committee members, it's now time to move the consent calendar. The consent calendar consists of item 8, which is AB 163. The recommendation is, motion is due pass to the Appropriations Committee. Item number 10, which is AB 220. The recommendation is to do pass as amended to the Appropriations Committee. Item number 13, AB 331. Motion is due pass as amended to the Appropriations Committee. Item number 14, AB 377. Motion is due pass to the Appropriations Committee. Item number 16, AJR 5. Motion is due pass. With that.
Actually, this is B.
I'm sorry. On item number 16, the motion is be adopted. With that, do we have a motion on the consent calendar? Is moved by Ms. Weber.
Second.
Second by Mr. McCarty. If you could please call the roll.
O'Donnell?
Aye.
O'Donnell, aye. Chavez? Kim?
Aye.
Kim, aye. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Santiago?
Aye.
Santiago, aye. Thurman? Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye.
So it's 5.
The consent calendar is out 5-0. Items 9 and 11 are on call. Lift the call on item number 9.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after they vote, yeah. Well, McCarty didn't, so just ask the absent members.
Do I need to ask them?
No. Just.
We're going to lift the call?
McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye.
Oh, no. What's this one for? Which one did you just call?
It's on 207.
Item 9.
Yes, that's a no.
McCarty, no.
Thank you. Thank you, teachers, professors.
And then Weber? No. Weber, no. And Thurman is still absent. So okay. This is still 207.
Item number 9, the vote is 2-4. That item fails. Item number 9. If we can now lift the call on item number 11. Item number 11. Item number 9, the chair. Item number 11, I'm sorry. No, item number 11, the chair's vote was aye.
Okay, McCarty?
Aye. Which one are we?
McCarty, aye. Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye.
So item number 11 passes on a 5-0 vote.
So we just need to find out if the other two want to vote. Yeah, you can vote.
This meeting is adjourned.